Welcome. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us. My name is Justin Aquino. I'm the founder of Cool Communicator LLC, which is a coaching and training company specializing in public speaking skills, presentation skills, and professional communication skills. And I've worked with a wide variety of clients from all industries, from Bank of America, Cushman & Wakefield, McKinsey, Rutgers University, UNICEF, and many, many others. And I'm happy to be joined this evening by Marc, a client and a friend. And we wanted to do this event tonight for pitching to investors specifically. A number of my clients have had challenges with pitching to investors or even sales skills. Marc himself is a prominent investor, so we figured it was a good combination. Marc Portney, for those of you who don't know, is a celebrity angel investor, all-star entrepreneur for American Dreams on HSN, host of Science Channel's All American Makers, and host of Invent It Rich, which is broadcast around the world. He guarantees there's at least one item in your house that he's responsible for. And he's behind hundreds of millions of dollars in retail sales. So Marc, welcome.
Thanks, Justin. I appreciate it.
So we want to get right into it. Everybody's curious, I think, Marc, to hear your story of the best pitch you've ever had and the worst pitch you've ever had.
Well, I can't help you with the best pitch. They're all good in their own ways, but I can speak to the worst pitch. Somebody that does a canned pitch, somebody that memorizes and doesn't know their own product, which I find impossible to believe because you guys lived with this, it's your baby, you've lived it, you've eaten it, you've breathed it, so there's no need for you to read, there's no need for you to just tell me what it is. Those are the best pitches. When you know the item, of course you all do, but just pitch, tell me what it is, I don't bite, and it's that easy. So that to me is the best advice I could give for a decent pitch.
And I'm curious, if you've ever talked about the pitching process with entrepreneurs that have been successful. In other words, a business that you ended up investing in or that you put money into. Did you ever talk about how they prepared their pitch for you afterwards? And if there were any tips or strategies that seemed to work really well for them?
Well, the number one thing I can say is passion. You need passion. If you don't care about your item, I guarantee you that I don't care about your item either. So you have to really have a lot of passion. You have to sell it like it's the last thing on earth that you're selling. That to me is the key item. That's the key item to all these pitches. And when you see somebody that's passionate, you become very, very intrigued, frankly. And you're halfway home. You're halfway home.
It's contagious. When someone is very passionate, enthusiastic. I mean, this is a huge thing that I emphasize with a lot of my clients because if you don't genuinely feel enthusiastic about your idea or your product, whatever the context is that you're presenting in, how is the audience going to feel it, right?
Exactly. So, if you don't care about your item, well, how do you expect somebody else to care about it? And on HSN, when we pitch in front of a live audience, 96 million homes, They tell you that you want to smile. Nobody wants to buy from a miserable person. So that alone right there should tell you everything that you need to know. Because if you're droopy, you're not going to sway an investor, never mind a customer. So
especially on TV. Any kind of TV content.
It's a whole different game. TV game is a whole different game, but it has the same exact strategies for pitching.
And what are the red flags in a pitch? In other words, what's something that could take a good idea that you're saying to yourself, okay, it makes sense, seems interesting, and then just kills it?
Well, probably lack of eye contact. I realize it's nerve-wracking, but if they're looking at the ground and they're not looking at you, that's a red flag for me. If they don't know their item, that's a super big red flag for me. So I don't understand if you guys made it up and you lived it and breathed it. How can you not know your item inside and out? and don't read from a pad. I was in Washington, D.C., and this woman, she was so nervous, and I tried to help her, and she pulled out a pad, and I said to her, put the pad down, just tell me, what is it that you have? What is it? And she put the pad down, she was very nervous, and she just started telling me what it was. And in starting that ball rolling down the hill, it started to flow, and then she became comfortable, and then she gave me an awesome pitch. It was just awesome. So that's really...
more conversational, more real, more authentic.
Just tell me what it is.
Right.
You're not going to trick me into the item. I mean, just tell me what it does, tell me the problem that's out there, tell me what it solves, and just be real. I mean, that's the easiest way. I don't care if it's me or anybody else. That's the key to a major pitch. I'm sure everybody out there watches a lot of TV, and they see that pitch show, which I won't mention. I mean, you can see unbelievable pitches, and then you can see them getting eaten alive. And the difference is that they're fumbling around. They're not.
Lack of preparation.
Absolutely.
See, preparation is something I always liken a presentation to an iceberg. So what the audience sees is just the tip of the iceberg, but the vast majority of the presentation happens before the day of your presentation. Really, I mean, psychologically, the preparation, the material, the content. If you know your content, and you're comfortable with it, you're confident with it, it's going to show the day of.
I mean, the questions are simple. I'm just going to ask you simple business questions about your item, or simple problem-solving questions about your item. I'm not going to ask you the hypotenuse of a triangle. It just doesn't matter. You know what I mean? I'm going to ask you simple questions about an item that you birthed. And if you don't know those, I get a little weary.
Do you ever, when you're having a Q&A or interaction with an entrepreneur, do you ever ask them questions just to push them, or to see, kind of like just to be a little tough on them, to see what they're made of?
Sometimes I do if it requires, but not normally. Not normally. It's sometimes I'll see how they react under pressure, but it's not usual. That might be second or third round.
And how persuadable are you? So in other words, has there ever been a time where you saw a pitch starting, someone's pitching their idea to you, and it seemed like, I'm not really into it, I don't really see the potential, but then by the end of it, you said to yourself, you know what, I could totally see this. I could see this as a viable business opportunity, the persuasive element.
Inside my head, are you asking?
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes I'll see an item and I'll be, this is the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. But by the end of the pitch, if they're persuasive and I understand, maybe it's probably me. When I saw it and I thought it was the stupidest thing I've ever seen, but then you've shown me the problem, you've shown me the solution, and once I see the relationship, I'm persuaded, 100%.
Should entrepreneurs make a specific dollar ask when they're pitching you?
No.
That's on TV, we see that all the time.
It's too much television. The bottom line is we have to date, we have to see if we want to date. You just don't walk up to somebody and say, let's get married. It's not how it rolls. But
Well, you don't do that, but yeah.
no, well, I know, if you've done it. Girls, be careful. But, I don't, I don't think it's not great practice at the beginning. Let's see if there's a match, let's see if there's something to talk about, and then we can get down. Deals vary in many different ways. Sometimes there's equity, sometimes there's a piece of the top line. So there's a million different ways you can skin the cat, and if you need manufacturing, I've been in China for over 30 years. I mean, there's different things that come to the table, and it all depends on what you need. So that's why the deals vary. Sometimes it can be made in the USA just as inexpensively as China, so I would prefer to do that, obviously.
Last question, most importantly. We have a number of pitches coming out. It's going to be some founders. Some of them have pitched many times before. For some of them, it's their first time ever pitching. And do you have any advice for them before we begin?
Just relax. Just make like there's not 80 people in the room. Just tell me what it is. Let's just talk about it. That's really the easiest way. Just tell me what it is. Let's have a chat. And for the first timers, I mean, for the professional pitchers out there, and you've done it a million times before, let's have at it. But the people that are the first timers, just tell me what it is. Let's have a nice, intimate discussion about whatever it is, and you'll see, it'll flow.